Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something a bit different, not just a virtual instrument, but maybe more like a sonic journal.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We're diving into Dystopia Diary.
Right, Dystopia Diary. And our mission, I suppose, is to kind of unpack its philosophy, what makes it tick.
Exactly. It's really a specialized tool, built for cinematic sound design, for creating these really immersive, atmospheric soundscapes.
It feels like it wants you to be less of a musician and more maybe a sonic architect or even a storyteller.
Precisely. That's the core idea. It shifts your perspective.
Okay, let's get into that philosophy then. It's monophonic, which is interesting straight away.
Mm-hmm.
So the playing isn't really about chords or melodies. It's more about holding a note
Yeah.
and what?
Yes.
Manipulating parameters.
That's it, exactly. You hold a single note, maybe two, and the real performance comes from tweaking knobs, changing the texture, the atmosphere over time.
So it forces you to think differently. Not notes, but sound itself.
Yeah, textures, environments, moods. It's about the space the sound creates. And it leans into this narrative idea so much. The manual actually has these fictional diary entries from 2027.
Wow, okay. To really put you in that sort of post-pandemic headspace.
Right. It underlines that it's about telling a story with sound.
So how does it actually generate these complex sounds if you're only holding one note? What's under the hood?
Well, at its heart is this pretty powerful six-layer engine. Think of it like sonic collage.
6 layers, okay.
Yeah, and these are independent looping samples. You can blend sounds from different categories, things like carpets, which are sort of foundational textures,
Okay.
and then layer in maybe some industry and military drones, or add some weirdness with noise, chatter, and twilight.
So you're mixing and matching these raw ingredients.
Exactly. And each layer has cool shaping tools, like a fixed versus track pitch switch. Fixed keeps the sample's original pitch no matter what key you press.
Oh, interesting. So you could have a fixed drone and play a track layer over it.
Precisely. And then there are lo-fi effects per layer too, with freak for sample rate and bits for bit depth. Really good for adding that digital grit.
Right, that sort of degraded, broken sound. Okay, so you've built this layered sound collage. How do you sculpt it further?
After the layers combine, the signal hits a dual filter system. These are in series, one after the other, so you can get really complex tone shaping.
And filters usually mean movement, right?
Definitely. Each filter has its own dedicated LFO, low-frequency oscillator. So you can set the rate, depth, and even sync it to tempo to bake in this constant evolving movement.
Okay, that makes sense for atmospheric stuff. Now, there's something called drone mode. That sounds significant.
Oh, it is. It's probably one of the most transformative features. It's on the main envelope section.
Right.
When you switch drone mode on, any key you press just latches. The sound holds indefinitely until you press it again.
Ah, so you don't need to physically hold the key down.
Exactly. It completely frees up your hands and your attention. You can just focus entirely on manipulating the layers, the filters, the effects in real time.
Turning the instrument into this sort of self-sustaining sound environment you can conduct.
That's a perfect way to describe it. It becomes its own entity.
Okay, so layers built, sound sculpted, drone maybe engaged. Then come the effects, I assume.
Yep, and it's a fixed chain, always in the same order. Creative, then modulation, then delay, and finally reverb.
Fixed chain. Interesting. So the order matters. What's the creative slot for? Sounds intriguing.
It really is. It's designed for radical transformation. Like, the bite effect in there is basically intense sample rate and bit reduction. It just chews up the sound.
For that real digital degradation vibe.
Totally. Then the modulation slot is more about adding movement and maybe imperfections. Think wow flutter to emulate old tape machines.
For that aged, slightly unstable sound.
Exactly, adds character. And then, of course, delay and reverb are essential for placing your sound in a space, often these huge, cavernous, echoing spaces typical of dystopian sounds.
So it feels like you start as an architect with the layers, become an engineer with the filters and effects, and then you step up to conduct the whole thing in real time. How does the performance aspect work with things like mod wheel and pitch bend?
Right, so those become your main expression tools. The mod wheel is super flexible. You can map it to multiple things at once.
Like what?
Well, imagine mapping it to, say, a filter cutoff, and that bite affects intensity. One sweep of the wheel creates this complex swell that also degrades the sound quality. It's powerful stuff.
Wow, okay. And the pitch bend?
This is also really cool. It can bend the pitch of each of the 6 layers independently.
Whoa. So you could have your main atmospheric bed stay put, while maybe 1 or 2 layers drift sharp or flat?
Precisely. Creates these really unsettling, dissonant drifts over a static drone. Perfect for that kind of feeling.
So pulling it all together, Dystopia Diary really isn't just another synth preset pack.
Not at all. It's a dedicated environment for narrative sound design. You've got the deep layering, the filters, that amazing drone mode, the curated effects, and these really expressive performance controls.
It genuinely feels like a tool designed to tell stories, to build worlds.
Absolutely. It's really an invitation, to explore those gaps between sounds, to find interesting textures and imperfection. It's less about just making music and more about writing your own entries in this sonic journal.
A sonic journal of a future that might be or might have been. It definitely leaves you thinking.
Yeah, it really challenges you. What kind of world does your sound create? What story are you going to tell with it?